Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Hello, welcome on board to another edition of Ladies Talk. It is a fresh edition. I know you have missed the crew. We also have missed you. Thank you so much for joining us this Friday. We appreciate your time all of the time. Ladies Talk is where we talk about everything females. We talk about issues affecting the female folks. And like I always reiterate, that anything that affects the female folks affects everybody. So this is a time where we try to talk about, relationship issues, your health issues, talk about fashion and lifestyle and what have you. And I do not do this alone. You should know I do this with my ladies in the house. My name is Evelyn Ohiole. And if there's anything worrying you at this time, I tell you to just keep it aside and let's have fun together on the show. Remember that worrying is like a rocking chair. Yeah, you enjoy it, it feels like, okay, you're getting something out of it, but it gets you nowhere, actually, absolutely nowhere. So keep the worry aside and let's have fun on the show. I have my ladies in the house, but before then, remember that you can watch past episodes of this show on our YouTube channel, Western Spring Television, and also you can connect with us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Western Spring Television. All right, so someone just chuckled beside me.
No, it's the X for me.
No, we have to move with the tide. I mean, it's no longer Twitter.
No, it's the X for me. When you said it, I was like, I couldn't hold it back.
It was formerly Twitter, but now we have to flow with the trend. It's X. Elon Musk has said that's what he wants us to refer to his platform as.
It looks weird.
All right, so Judith, let me start with Judith before I go over to the big elephant in the room, because it's so obvious we have someone new in the house. But Judith, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been great. Thank God for this new month that we're in. We know it's going to be an exciting month. We do have the same, me and my colleague, we say we don't know where we are going, but we're going somewhere. But we just hope that we get to our destination. But everybody should just hold their teeth fair, just in case.
September must comply.
It must always pay. And it's so glad to be on Ladies Talk with beautiful, beautiful ladies.
People.
See the gorgeousness oozing out from these ladies behind.
And you're not left behind. I mean, look at you. You're looking absolutely, stunning.
Yeah, I just decided to do what they say, if things cannot, you just do, you get.
And it's nice. I mean, you're looking all so gorgeous in even this natural look. I love it.
It's the last to me.
And it's marvelous in our
sight. It is marvelous in my sight.
All right, permit me to move over to the gorgeous, beautiful, amazing Nengi Ernest Ademola. You are looking absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning, beautiful.
The Amazon queen herself.
What can I say? What can I say?
I mean, you're serving us that freshness.
Absolutely. It's my debut on the show, and I have to be sharp. Do you get it? I have to be extremely sharp and at my best. Aside from being sharp, I need to talk sense. Do you get me? So anyways, guys, my name is Nengi Ernest Ademola, and I am super excited, honestly, to be among the ladies today. This is my debut, like I said earlier on.
And she's here to talk sense, like she said.
She put it out.
It's as simple as that.
As simple.
Of course.
But you have an amazing outfit. Yeah, I love the old African print. It's giving us.
I think it's kind of like your outfit, the King Eve outfit on a normal day. Let's just put this whole corporate aside.
No, don't expose me now. Don't expose me.
It is.
No, people now outside used to think that I'm this professional person. You should not expose me outside.
She's professional.
I love putting on something like this.
I
beg to be corporate.
We know this is the number.
But I love this. I love the fact this African print and all of that. In the news I had some Ogun traders protesting that people now import Adire fabrics, and you know Ogun is like the headquarters of Adire.
Why would you import Adire?
So let's say it's kind of pushing the main Adire now into extinction, and they were like calling on the state government, calling on the federal government to help stop that.
How would you do that when we are doing it here?
In our
land,
like we have the original.
As in the original one.
We're doing it with the bare hands. Not even.
The thing about, I think the thing about with some Nigerians is that anything they just hear import. They just feel
like that's original. They feel like that's better.
When we have it at our backyard, where they use their hands.
That's what I'm saying. The bare hands and some local instruments, you know, and all of that. The chemicals involved also.
Import is not always.
I also love what I wear.
I love made in Nigeria. I love to promote made in Nigeria, and I don't think it's good enough for us to want to push these traders out of their trade, out of their business. It doesn't really augur well for us as a country, because I mean now we have to import Adire, you know, from China.
It's just like importing ashok.
You get
like
it's just so many things that, you know, most times I feel like Nigeria fails to understand, or should I say the government, or should I say our leaders right now, they fail to understand how we could actually use things like this to promote ourselves. Things like this can serve as viable income earner to the whole society. To be honest, tourism, the crude oil, our local, our African displays, and all of that. I think these are some of the things that form part of, you know, what can actually push the country forward, and you know, make us form progress at the end of the day.
Actually,
I just feel the Chinese people are so you know, business oriented, because you know they know this is what you people like, so they are now producing it from their end, sending it down here to you.
And when you we're loving theirs.
I see it as an insult to our culture. Like, it's an insult. We're supposed to be the one exporting it there because it's made from here. Like, I see that just like when they now make these are native, normal native wrappers and everything, they make it over there
and send it back
to us. It's like
we'll joyfully grab it.
Well, is that not what we do with crude oil? We have the crude oil right here. We export it there and import it. You know, we take it back to us as refined fuel.
They're going somewhere.
We just hope the state government of Ogun can do something about this, and also the federal government can do something about this. Adire is our own. Adire is made in our society, in our country, in Ogun State, and we should not allow it end just like that. All right, we will end this particular it seems the ladies wanted something, you know, to let out something from their hearts, which they have done. We go for this breather. When we come back, it will be time for us to talk what's trended, and what we have on our plate today is very, very interesting. You do not want to miss it. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's still Ladies Talk right here on Western Spring Television, and this is the segment that we have tagged What's Trended. And what we do on this particular segment, if this is your first time of watching this show, is that we try to look over social media and take a particular topic that trended, a particular situation or issue that trended over the week, and we try to talk about it. And I'm sure you ladies must have seen this one. A lot of things trended actually, but I decided to let us talk about this one because it's something that is now becoming a norm in our society. When you talk about fraudsters, nicknamed Yahoo Boys, it's something that everyone says as normal. In schools, you see a young boy of our old coming with a very expensive car that even his lecturer cannot afford, and nobody's saying anything. We just feel it's cool. We go to churches and we see a guy of 17, 18 come in with all dressed and that's what we see in our society. We see mothers promoting, asking their children to go into fraud.
You never see your mates. Now they talk.
Even the ladies now, they prefer the Yahoo Boys to the normal guys.
Guy will that work struggles,
with their, to make an end, to make ends meet. And this popular Reverend Father Oluoma has actually come out. He actually said something that when I saw it, I was like, okay, what was this man trying to, say? But let me just read out basically what he said on social media the other day that has got a lot of people talking. And, now, this Reverend Father said something very, very funny. I'm sure I sent it down to you ladies also when I actually saw that. Okay, so I got that already. And it says that, I don't understand when people who steal and dupe others get angry when ministers condemn it. Yahoo means a set of people who will just lock themselves in their house, look for somebody who is vulnerable, using their computers and dupe the person everything he labored for. Then the person becomes so broke after 30 to 40 years of laboring, you steal everything the person has, and the person is dying of depression, high blood pressure, and heart attack, and you are comfortable. That some musicians even sing to endorse that kind of lifestyle means to you that it is normal. If Yahoo means tricking people, defrauding them of their hard-earned money, leaving them penniless, and they die of heart attack, how do you want to end well? Some people even consider it as a legitimate hustle. How can stealing be a legitimate hustle if you are the kind of person you cannot end well? He says that. And he says, if you are into such a thing, please do not marry. Because if you marry and you give birth, your children will suffer the consequences. At least if you want to be a Yahoo, this was where a whole lot of social media, a lot of bloggers dwelt on. At least if you want to be a Yahoo boy, target politicians who are stealing money, but you won't target such people. It is people who worked honestly. At least target the bad politicians so that on the last day, you and God can have conversations on it. And I wonder what kind of conversation, like you're negotiating with God. God, I actually went for the corrupt ones. The people I
actually went for them.
I stole from the thief.
I just took back what they took from us.
But then both of you are thieves at the end of the day.
You understand? But let me start from Nengi. What do you have to say about what this Reverend Father, Reverend Father Oluoma has said? What are your thoughts, really?
The truth is, when we talk about online criminals, when we talk about internet fraud, I think that's one of the audacity that, unfortunately, is now part of us as Nigerians.
It's normal now.
It's now like the normal thing for us that we just see the guys. Sometimes you can be able to identify them. Yeah. Most times it's because of the kind of exotic cars they carry, the kind of expensive lifestyle that they live on a daily basis. And sometimes you could just see one passing by and then you spot them. These people are all over our neighborhoods. They're all over churches. In fact, they're everywhere. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's unfortunately that part that is now locked into our daily living, our daily activities right here in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria, of course, all over the world. And I think it's a pity situation. It's a sorry situation. It has been a huge source of concern, rather, for leaders, not just leaders, but for well-meaning citizens of Nigeria and across the world. And aside from that, this is the point where they would say everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage also. And the truth is, when you talk about internet, it's easily accessible to everyone, both in the rural areas, both in the urban areas. With your phones, you can now connect. You can now meet online vendors. You can now, so many things that have been done with the internet. But I feel that these guys, this internet fraudsters, so to call them, these internet fraudsters, are now making use of the vulnerability of the internet. That is what they are doing at this point in time, making it look like we cannot even have peace of mind, making it look like, at this point in time, they copy things from maybe vendors, from similar things like that, and they now still use it to dupe others of their life savings and everything. So it's a social menace, of course, that has swallowed and eaten a very deep part of Nigeria and as well across the world. So it's nothing new what the Reverend Father actually said. It's something that is quite obvious and glaring to everybody that it is wrong, because definitely you would stand to face the consequences. I actually liked the part where he talked about the fact that do not marry. Because when you get married, you definitely have kids. And sometimes, it can be funny that some of these things, at the end of the day, it might not even be you. It will just pass on to those kids, and they would face those consequences. So I think he also said something aside from that. And as at the time he talked about politicians, why not target politicians? I was
corrupt politicians.
Yeah, he first said politicians before he did say bad politicians. So when I read that write-up and I saw politicians, I was like, come on, politicians are also human beings. But then when I read down, he actually said the bad, corrupt politicians and all of that. So I think it's something that it's more like the way the more internet users increases, it's more like the more internet fraudsters also increase. So it's quite dicey on how to want to go about it, on how to want to stop it. At this point, it's quite dicey because I can tell you for sure that most of these young lads in secondary school, they're already been breeded into it. I can tell you for sure that most of our tertiary institution serves as a breeding ground for this. You know, they would go to school thinking that their parents, their parents thinking that they've actually sent them to school to study and all of that. But then at the end of the day, they are somewhere, in the rooms, locked up in the rooms, with their laptops, with their phones, and they're doing something very, very useless. And at the end of the day,
I don't want to mention names now because when we mention certain higher institutions, I don't want to profile any uni now, but there are some particular institutions, higher institutions, when you call their name, they say, that's the headquarters for Yahoo guys. When you call the name of this institution, they say, this is the headquarters of this thing.
When you call some states,
some states.
We know.
So very quickly, Judith, let me come to you now. People that are involved in internet fraud, they will tell you that we are stealing from. Some will tell you that we are stealing from those who stole from us, especially those that defraud the whites. They'll tell you, they came to our land some 60 years ago, some 70 years ago, and they stole from our great-grandfathers. Now is the time we are paying them back in their own coin. So I don't feel bad. They will tell you, I don't feel bad. I don't feel sorry, defrauding these white people. What are your thoughts on that?
You don't pay evil with evil.
Okay.
Because whether the whites stole from us, they gave us our independence. Last. So you don't pay evil with evil. One thing every bad thing, some people will want to look for a good thing to make a bad thing good. We know it's bad. Everybody know it's bad.
But you can paint it.
Well, you want to paint it. Black is black. You don't need to add brown on top to make it.
Are they not different shades of black?
But it's still black. Even if it's grey black. Or ash black, it's still black. You understand? So whenever I ask why people say that the white came, they stole from us now, but you're stealing from people who that they worked hard for them, and most times they're always elderly people who are maybe people that their husband has died, their wife have died. They're just looking for fresh love, because I've done a case study on this before. They're looking for fresh love, and they'll now come and say, okay, the guys will now come, make them fall in love and steal from them, not knowing if this person is going to survive the next day, which is very bad, which is wrong. You see, you don't come with something that is bad, because when they come out and say, we are stealing from there, but you now steal from them, okay, why can't you use this time you're using to scam people? Because some people steal from morning, for 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. You are putting lines down, different kind of lines. Cannot use it and just achieve something for yourself. We use that scam somebody, and the money you will not use this for better things.
But how do you think, now these two both of you, how do you think we're encouraging this as a society? Because what Reverend Father Oluwama said, when I first saw the headline on the blog, I was concerned. I was like, why would the Reverend Father say that Yahoo boys can steal from? Like, it's encouraging them to steal, to go on with the fraud, but don't defraud the honest people. Go for corrupt politicians. You are still encouraging, in a way, the act of fraud.
I don't think we should, whether they go for politicians, bad politicians, or I don't care.
Well,
they should just put a stop to fraud. Fraud is fraud. 419 is 419. There's no good, whether you go for bad people and steal from bad people, you're still committing the same theft. There is no good theft or bad theft. Theft is theft. Thieving is thieving. No, let's be plain.
It's true, just like, you know.
No, let's tell you, thieving is thieving. Whether you thief from good people or you thief from bad people. Okay, if you die now and they can't, and you go to heaven and they ask what
like,
you do, you say you thief. You thief.
No, you can negotiate. He's saying you can have
There
negotiation.
is no negotiation. If you read the Bible, even for Aloma knows that if you read the Bible very well, there is no negotiation. If you're counting sin, they call don't steal, don't lie, don't commit adultery, don't do this.
All of the
they did not say don't thief good thief, don't thief bad thief. No, because it's wrong. I feel. Okay, why is it that when somebody steal maybe just small thing from someone, I say no, they'll still kill you for it. Whether it's good thief or bad thief, it doesn't matter. Stealing is stealing. But the fact that what I'm always angry at them is that they just take from people who are searching for love, or because there are different.
The vulnerable.
See, I did a case study on. There are different types of ways these Yahoo boys do their things. There are different skills. There's the one they'll just do relationship. There's a party. There's different things. So they go to different areas and just look, because most times, and they are the ones that fall into it because of greed. When they'll tell you that they are a priest in Nigeria, they are a priest in Nigeria, or you not go and Google and know who is the president of Nigeria. You will now come and tell you that he's the president's son. You will not fall into it, and that one is greed. If the thief is greed, it's you that fall yourself inside the same meeting. But you see, because I think our society has so encourages. Is it that it's not like, is it that you're working in bank or you're working or you're Yahoo boy?
Or a politician.
Do you understand? Like, it's not
like
part of job.
Things revolves around.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, Nengi, like, how do you think we've actually encouraged it subconsciously? Because there was a time where, as a child, even me, even right now, if I get something for myself, I'm working now, you know, because I'm still like, I'm independent, I'm working on my own right now, but I'm still kind of accountable to someone, which is my mom.
Yeah.
Because I'm not yet married, right? So there are some things I'll do.
Even your siblings.
Yeah, there are some things I'll do for myself. My mom will say, you've gotten this thing. How do you get it?
That's it. How?
But right now you see a child, I call them children, because you see someone 17, 18, comes up with a car, the mother, a girl of 18, 16 comes up with
big phone.
an iPhone 14.
Pro
And
Max.
you're not asking questions. You feel, oh, it's the blessings of God.
I've been praying.
Hey.
So,
I've been
what
praying,
do you think, as a society, what are the steps you can take, you know, in the family, in the church? In the church, you know, as a pastor, you know this child, you know this guy is still in school. He's now bringing a tithe of $1 million to you.
Accept it and pour blessings on him.
You know, I've actually said, I used to always say, they are men of God and they are men of God. You understand? I've actually seen a video whereby a man of God, should I even call him a man of God? I don't know. But
A God of man.
I don't know. He was actually saying that in his church, he encourages that let the Yahoo boys come
in,
and
as they are, just as they are.
And drop it. I was like, he said, you know, they pursue them. Say, maybe they bring the money, they come. Everything he talk.
The church needs money.
You know, the church say, may they come, may they
church
change.
needs money.
You know, normally the church is like a hospital. Anybody can come in, and as far as you don't remain the same. But this one was like talking like, they should come.
I need the money.
Yeah,
It's all about
because
the money.
I feel the society has failed in some ways. Actually, most of our parents who has gone through so much hardship that we are seeing our children as a retirement plan, and you're putting so much pressure on these kids.
Yeah.
So, and when they look left, they see their fellow friends making money through fraud. They look right. They see
The same thing.
They see their fellow. They not look front. They not see their friends that is in the same age struggling. You know, they'll not
pick the faster way. You pick the better way. Yeah.
But you see and we have parents who encourage them. I've seen a parent tell a child, you know, they see your friend, they do Yahoo. You understand? Go do Yahoo. See, this is something we need to, I think, make both the society, because they said everything starts from the home.
From the family.
The home, the family makes
family
up
is the first unit
the family makes up the society. So if we don't start from the home to train up our kids or our children that hard work pays. Because if you ask this, they say they do hard work, say they sleep. But if they do hard work, you can't get money. So why you do this hard work, can't get money, can't spend the money? How is the hard work? Because nobody that actually sweats for their money
spend it
anyhow.
All right.
And just to add, Evelyn, you asked about something, those ways in which we've been, we've done the things consciously and subconsciously and all of that. And I would like to give maybe 3 points to this one. First, it's moral decadence. That's just the truth. I do not know what else I want to explain inside the moral decadence, but then that's the word for it, moral decadence. We do not see, just like Jew Baby has actually stated, Judith, hard work is more like, it don't be like stress.
To some people.
I mean, then there's the societal pressure. I need to make this money. Look, there are some times that our families, the families where people grow up from, push them outside.
Yeah.
And at a young age, you start struggling. And that's the example that Judith has even given, that when you look left, you look right, you see the same people doing. You would want to have that confidence to join and be like, then they do this one, no cash there, alpha. Me too. You just pitch yourself to somebody and all of that. And aside from that, I would like to also say self-indulgence. Self-indulgence. That's the same thing that happens when, you know, people will be like, oh, why do you have girls? They go out and they do not wear bra. Why do you have children? It is self-indulgence. Sometimes when you sit and think about where you're coming from, about your background, and think about the consequences that are going to befall you when you do internet fraud, sometimes you do not, just common sense. You just sit and you think and you be like,
I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. There's a way I can actually do this right. And it will pay off because I'm going to reap the benefits. Because if you get your money rightly, it is you're rest assured that at 70 you would have retired and you would sit, watch your kids take over your businesses and all of that. So one other thing is self-indulgence. And I think another thing is the fact that sometimes as youths, we do not get equal opportunities. Godfatherism, favoritism, all of that. So I don't even have, if you're a governor's daughter and they definitely put out a job interview and you know you have your CV is just exactly what they need. You put it in. They don't give it to you. Who you be? Do you have anybody? Do you understand? So this society, I think there's a lot of things that need to change, but then definitely you have to start from yourself. You know, so some of those causes are societal pressure. Self-indulgence, and the fact that there are no equal opportunities for everyone at this point in time. And we do understand that life can be like that. Definitely, but then you have to sit and reason life.
But if you're doing for the wonder, you're living with fear. That's one thing. every day, if you just say,
you might get caught. Yeah.
As in, you know, when you're doing something, because if they feel this is right, I feel they shouldn't be living in fear now. Because if they don't see police pass like this, and they hold their phone,
their heart starts beating.
Like they said, there's no rest for the weekend.
So how is this a good thing?
I need to wrap up this segment.
There is this other point I think would need to actually pinpoint and actually bring out, is the fact that some of these boys do the whole internet fraudster thing, online criminal thing. And do you know at the end of the day, they put it into something legal and they stop.
Yes.
They go call them legalizing the whatever.
You know,
sometimes I just sit and be like, okay, the time where you use thief, can't legalize them. So what if you should have hustled to just make it legal, like all throughout? But then that is one point, and people will look at you and be like, I've seen,
they call us being smart.
Being smart, yes. I've seen people. There was a particular wedding where my friend attended. You know, we're just discussing about that. The man get money, you understand? So when I like, I take it, and all of those stuffs, and my friend was like, you don't legalize, you don't legalize them. Do you understand?
Oh.
There's so much more to this, actually.
I get you. Thank you so much for your thoughts. You know, they are thoughts that we should ponder on. As a parent, you should actually be conscious of what your child does. You know, it doesn't matter whether they are now an adult. If the child is past 18, so he's an adult, he can take care of himself and all of that. You know, I once had, this is a true life experience that happened to me. You know, someone called me up and said, Evelyn, you have a very nice accent. I just need you to help me talk to my client. I'm like, your client? So he's your client. He said, I'm going to give you, you see, you're going to get paid. I said, see, if the client that you're talking about is what I'm thinking, firstly, I'm disappointed in you, and secondly, please never, ever, ever in your life ask me to do that again.
I don't know why they always do that to us.
People that, you know, you're not into fraud, you should not associate yourself with things like, because someone will say, please don't be me, I'm not the distance, so I can still do it and collect the money.
Accomplice.
Do you understand? So if you know you are against fraud, be against it from start to finish. There's no middle ground. It's whether you are for it or you are against it. All right, it's been a very, you know, educative and informative session on what's trended tonight. We go for this break. When we come back, it took the time for us to bring what topic we have on the table. Do not go anywhere. Ladies Talk, we'll be right back. right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Ladies Talk is still right here on Western Spring Television. Now let's go to the topic of discuss. We got a mail and I would like to read it out for us, and I think we're going to have it displayed on the screen too. This is a very, interesting topic today. And it says, this is from Abishala from Oshun. It says, "Hey ladies, I have been dating my boyfriend for 3 years and we have been so good together. He is a Christian as me, but not as deeply rooted as I am. Last 2 months, he proposed and I was very happy he finally popped the question and I accepted his proposal. However, last month, he stopped going to church and started exhibiting some anti-Christianity behaviors. And just recently, he revealed that he is now an atheist. He says he doesn't believe God exists anymore and doesn't want anything to do with religion. This is a man I love and really want to spend the rest of my life with. But I have never imagined that I'll have an atheist as a husband. I am confused and do not know what to do. Is this enough reason to call off this relationship? If I go ahead with the marriage, will it not pose a problem? Please help me," she says. Wow. This is a very worrisome one. Judith,
very crucial at the same time.
Judith, she's asking you, help her.
Yeah. You know that me, I can be very...
Yeah.
See, lady. First, I'll start with you. If you've already said, I'm sure from the write-up, I could see that she is not in line with this new character
development
of her man. But you're saying you love him. Would this pose as a threat? It's already a threat to you. That's why you're bringing it to us to discuss. I'm doing tough love for you right here. So I don't think, if you don't have, I've always said it on the show that if your standards, your doctrines, your belief, your faith, everything does not match with the person you're going into marriage with, please just step back and leave. It's not, you've not entered into the marriage.
So she should throw away 3 years of commitment, 3 years of sacrifice, 3 years of love.
Okay, she should enter into an intent that they will stop her from going to church, because she's someone that loves going to church.
Yes.
Because once you enter into that marriage, he will tell you, pump and play, and anything you cannot change in relationship, you cannot change it in marriage. Don't even change. If you like pray fast for 50 years, 1 year, it will not happen. Anything. So if you know that you're not satisfied with it, because right now I think she is not happy with this anti-Christianity anti-Christianity behavior. So it's already a threat to her. It's already a problem to her. And if you're having this issue, and you yourself, you know you don't like it, so why go into a marriage and then suffer at the long run?
Okay, Judith, they're coming tough. Nengi, I'm concerned, I'm bothered about the root cause, because someone will not just wake up one morning and say yeah, I don't believe in God anymore.
They go church before
So I feel, she should first of all ask him what's happening. Is there something probably you've asked God for that he didn't do? Is there something that happened to you that made you say, see, there's no God anywhere? Because I believe as humans, even as Christians, we have come to, there was a point in our life where we lost our faith and we're like, does God really exist?
Yes.
Some of us had second chance to say, okay, I don't want to go this route. God exists. But for some people, they went off. And, they went off the cliff completely. So, for you, this is a tough one, really, because...
To be honest, the issue of religion, when it comes to you having a life partner, it's very crucial. Just like I would say, the issue of finance is also very crucial.
So, religious differences matter in a relationship or in marriage.
Now, Judith has talked about her own point, but I'd like to oppose.
Okay.
The truth is, an atheist or an atheist are people that are like Christians. They are human beings. They are not principalities and powers.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The only thing is they believe that there is no supreme authority over anybody or over anything in the world. But then they are not the devil. They are not who Christians will say they are wrestling against. They are not who you're wrestling against. They're humans. An atheist is a human being, just like you as a Christian.
All right.
So she said we should help her, right? I think so. I think there's a bit of contrast to opinions. Definitely would have that. But then, if your husband's fate, or maybe your husband to be's fate, is not in connection with yours totally, I think it's a time. It's about that time that you show an unselfish love. You might not be comfortable with it. Trust me. It's very hard, as a matter of fact. Like I said, it is one crucial thing when it comes to marriage, religion. And, of course, the differences that comes with it. You would never be comfortable. You would not, let me use the word not, you would not be comfortable with it if you want to go down that route. But then, it is how we are going to know that Christ is in you.
So are you saying she should ask that question? What will Jesus do? Like the normal question that they ask.
I'm coming. Let us be unbundling everything.
Okay.
Now, I feel like that man even has a role to play in our Christian journey. He has a role to play in our Christian journey in the fact that he's set and positioned for her to, what's the word now? For her to really expose, for her to really exhibit those deep Christian values and virtues. That's how I see it, though.
So if she wants,
so what are you saying?
You're not living that 3 years relationship.
So you want to exhibit who Jesus is.
Wait, let's
communication matters.
Land.
Respect matters.
Okay.
Now let's take it from another angle. This man abruptly woke up one morning and said he does no longer believe in God. He doesn't go to church and all of that. And you said it, Evelyn. A man cannot just wake up now and just say so many things must have transpired. Look, there are some times that you wake up and you're depressed. You have this thought about how heavy life has been on you, how heavily you've been praying on the other side, and things are not just working.
Yeah.
So I just said something now, communication. I think that should be the first step she would want to take. Respectfully. Do you get? Respectfully, you take that step of communicating with the man you're about to marry.
What's happening?
Ask him, what's up? What's happen? And if the love is that strong and everything, I think he's going to release every information. Even the ones you do not know, he will definitely tell you everything.
So you are saying it's not enough reason for you to walk out. Try to work it out. It's not enough reason to walk out, but try to work it out with him and see if, there is a way you can salvage the situation. There's a way you can be in that situation with him, pray things through for him, not with him now, because he is not praying. He has said he's no longer believing in God. So you will be, staying in the line for him to come back.
Standing in the gap for him. As a true Christian that you are. So Judith,
this is not funny. This is not funny.
See, I feel she has done that because when people come to us for help, it's because they've tried everything.
She doesn't look like she's tried anything.
Because I feel she has. See, what I'm saying is that everybody can change. Because I'm looking at that message critically is because why immediately after you just popped the question, you suddenly became an atheist? Why? That's my question. Why? Why were you not an atheist when you were weighing her for the first year, second year, third year, until when you now knew you wanted to, you just popped the question and immediately you turned to an atheist?
So let's take it from this angle. What if this guy was still a Christian or posing to be a Christian until the marriage, and maybe a month or 2 months, calm down, a month or 2 months into the marriage now, the guy says, see, I don't believe in God. Will you still tell us to work out on a marriage?
Because I feel that one should not tell. That is God helping and the thing have come aside.
So the thing is, I feel it's revolving around so many things.
I feel this guy actually is someone that does not believe in God right from time. When you're trying to woo a lady, you will do anything. Because I'm still considering the fact that why is he immediately, even if anything want to do you for this life, why is it that immediately you popped the question of would you marry me, knowing that this is a step further to say, okay, we don't, it's just like saying you don't marry. Do you understand? Immediately you just wake, nobody wakes up one day, the next day, as in early mama, and say he wants to become an atheist.
They
I
do.
studied
People
philosophy.
wake up and just decide.
I studied philosophy. It's a
But
psychological thing.
the lady had already
Thank
said
you.
that
You said it's a psychological
he's not
thing.
deeply rooted.
He's not
like
deeply-
she is. She's a Christian.
At the beginning
but
of
it's
the
just-
relationship.
She is
Yeah.
not. That's why. See, I know there's something the Bible says that I like very much. Which when the Bible says, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers." Not
That's
saying
exactly the angle
that
you're coming
this
from.
person is an unbeliever. Like but he's just trying to say. I'll bring it down to a number. He's just trying to say anybody that does not fit in that same, because even in the Christendom, people that don't fit with your doctrines, maybe you're coming from a different church and you're someone that ties scarf, you don't wear earrings, and you want to get married to a man who loves ladies wearing earrings, wearing wigs. You know, it's conflicting doctrines.
yeah.
And you see that you can never in this life compromise for that standard. What would you advise that person? That person definitely should walk out if you're not into that marriage. Because when you enter into that marriage, it's going to be a...
Now, let's
it's
catch
going to
something here about the
because
lady.
that's what I'm trying to say. Because this lady, right from time, I know she loves this man so much. From what she
Exactly.
says, she loves him so much. And you cannot pray and it says, like, even if you enter the marriage, you keep praying for the rest of your life. If you not change, you will not change. My own is that except they have a communication that says, I would go to my church and you will not stop me.
You not stop me.
Even if I carry the kids, you will not stop us. Because I've seen a situation whereby they will tell you these things, and
in
when
the
you
marriage-
enter, it will be a different bug, and I'm trying to save that from her. It's a tough. I'm trying to save her all those.
I mean, this is an atheist. Now we've seen a couple of Christian Muslim.
Yes.
And you know, the guy will tell you I'm a Muslim, but you know,
you
when
can
we get
maintain your-
But
married.
what's the guarantee that you as a Christian marry a Christian and the marriage will last?
No, there's no guarantee for it. No,
There isn't.
I'm not
Do
talking
not
about the
leave your
guarantee.
3 years relationship.
not
My
saying-
dear sister
I'm not saying-
from Osun State.
I'm not saying there's
Let's
a
take it
guarantee
from
that
other-
any
let's
marriage
take it
will
from
last.
another
All I'm saying is that
angle, baby.
if you know you cannot cope with this, because the way she sounds is like, I cannot cope with an atheist.
She can't.
Do you think it's
Do you-
because of
she-
what
she loves this man.
I want to bring it. Do you think it's because of what she grew up with? Like, this is the mindset she had as a Christian. Like, you must marry a
And
Christian.
And it's very
brother.
disappointing.
Do you understand?
Definitely.
So, do you
Find
think
out.
she can still work it out? Like, she can still accommodate. She can still compromise.
She work
a
it out
bit.
for the rest of her life. If you want to work it out, it's not problem. You sure you want to work, you will pray and fast.
I feel she can work
like
it out.
Nengi said, you will use your godly character
Yes.
and win him. But how
That's-
win?
that's how we know
win.
that Christ
Because
is in
you
you.
will stay 10 years, 15 years, you have not win him over. Now I'm just telling you. Because I feel, see, we always say, you know me, I like stopping something. Before you now enter it, you now say, I don't know.
Now you made a statement now,
It is
and I
workable.
want to push it to you. You know, marrying a Christian sister, marrying a Christian sister. If we go to if we hear
Christian
cases
brother.
of divorces and some of them are too Christian, saying, I don't want to do anymore. Some of them are even ministers and saying, I don't want to do
yes.
anymore. So marrying a Christian brother or a Christian partner, is it a guarantee
That your marriage work.
that your marriage will last?
Simple and no, capital letter N no. No.
So,
What makes a marriage last is the two parties that are inside that marriage and God as the third party.
So why are you saying it's not workable?
What
It is
I'm
workable.
saying is, see, values contradict. See, values can cause issues
Even
in
the
marriage.
Christian brother and sister, they have different
when
values.
but when they came
They
inside,
have.
they had the same maybe something inside the marriage now caused the gbege. But as far before they came, they had the same idea. This one now it's not my shoe, Sha, it's your shoe. But you get so if she's getting married to a taste, if she wants to actually, because the way I'm seeing it, she already has an issue with this. That's why she's bringing it here for us to help her. See, my sister, say you want to discuss with him. If you discuss with you, say you allow you go to church, you carry the children, you carry your whole family and go to church. No problem, enter the marriage. But please and please, send us another message. Let us know what is happening. No, you know I like being tough.
Evelyn.
Let us know
Now,
what is
I
happening.
said this is workable. It
Yeah.
is very, very workable.
Okay.
Now, for you to have been in a relationship for 3 years, it means that normally in a relationship, there are factors surrounding it. Factors that want to make you spend the rest of your life with that person. So in order not for us to argue too much, this is what you would do. I'm talking to the lady right now. I think she should sit and write down those values, those things that are true of her spouse to be. Write them down, because I'm sure there are other things
Qualities,
aside
yes.
from religion, qualities that actually made her to say, as he popped that big question, I'm saying a yes. It's a yes for me. Write them down. And why not weigh your options? Weigh it. Let's see if those qualities outdo.
Do you think those
religion.
qualities can actually outweigh God? Because the big
Question. I
the-
know,
the
like
big
God.
question, like
the verse for God.
it's a different thing when it's a
Now,
Muslim. It's a different thing when it's a Muslim
And
versus
there's still God in
Christian.
the
There's a God in the
it.
picture.
But this
Now,
person
this
right there does
person
not
saying,
believe
I
that
don't
there is any
believe in
supreme
God.
authority. I know who Aneta is.
No,
So
no, no,
imagine,
no, 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 God. Say that
imagine
no
you're
God.
going through
That's it.
some challenges in the home. You're married now, and you're going
You
through
don't
some
pray.
challenges in the home, and you're praying. Probably you're
Shut
praying
up,
to
shut
God,
up,
and you're like, and he's like, which God are you
Which
praying
God
to?
God that
You know,
doesn't exist.
You're supposed to be in a relationship where two will become one, and you people will agree together on something.
Now, that is where assignment comes into marriage, because so many people feel like, oh, my goodness, our values, everything has to be in line. Yes, we'll talk about what they call, what's the word, the word now? Compatibility
Yes.
in terms of value and everything. But then there's also the part of assignment. You know, when they talk of God, now, what if that is the man that's been programmed
okay.
for her
Okay,
by
that's
God?
the
Because I'm
assignment.
telling you like that.
Yes,
that's
no,
the programmed.
no,
That's the
there are people that
assignment.
believe like that. There are people that believe that.
Now, if you
Okay.
think there's
Yes.
nothing like that,
Now,
I don't
Now
believe
that
that.
Neg is going into this
no,
part.
the thing
Personally, I don't believe
the
in
thing
that,
is-
that
the
there's
thing
a
is,
man
I
programmed
feel
for
it's
you.
workable, because there are times, just like Jew Baby and I, we've stated from the start, there's what we call communication.
Yes.
You guys need to sit and talk about how are we going to raise our kids if really we love each other and want to spend the rest of our lives
Should I take
with
them
each
to
other.
church?
How are we going to raise our kids? How about those holidays Christians celebrate? Atheists definitely they do not. Talk about, look,
believe
there
in
are
it.
real
In
life
a
issues
natural
that you would
phenomenon.
want to talk about
you are
right there
saying
and
that
then.
it's the communication now that will actually determine what steps she should take. If the husband says,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything God in my in my house, then she should take a walk. If he's saying, I
Because
don't
he
want to
would
hear
definitely
anything
say-
God,
If you
I don't
can
want
stay in a relationship for 3 years,
He was not.
I know. We understand the fact that
He was not
He
as at then.
was halfly rooted as a Christian, and right now he is completely an atheist.
Uprooted. He's
completely
becoming
uprooted from the cliff and now planted in the atheist whatever. Now, if you can spend that much with patience and everything, do you know what it means for somebody to be halfly rooted and you are fully rooted as a Christian?
That's my problem.
insane.
You couldn't even change him to a fully rooted Christian
See.
while you were dating.
No.
You were still half baked.
Can you
Then
compare
if you
3
have
years?
patience,
Can you compare
if
3
you
years
have
to
that-
forever?
If you have that
Hey.
patience, my sister, you will sit and you see if it takes you 6 years, 3 years again to make
This
sure
one
that
is
you are
like 15
patient with
years.
this man to
No.
see if at
My
all
problem is
you can communicate with him.
This
Then you
guy,
should.
this guy was a half-baked
wait.
Christian, and you were a full-baked Christian. You could not change him to a full-baked Christian.
So why is it that in your doctrine, if you say-
he now go out.
No, why is it
And
that
you
in
now
your
say,
doctrine, in your doctrine, I feel like the girl self, you get her own, make I give him to one now. Why is it that if your doctrine says that do not be, there's a condition, unequally yoked with
unbelievers,
and you see that he's half-baked,
and you still enter.
You still
know, say,
enter.
all these
Now,
Christian
giving it to the
sisters,
girl.
all these Christian sisters wey dey like
You
this,
still
but that
enter.
way, but that
It's
way. See, if you cannot deal with but that is very fine, and he has all the
stop
qualities
it
of
from there, just like Jubilee
very,
has
very
said.
good bad guy.
But
You
for
like
you-
very good bad. No, it's true.
For you to
know,
have come
why
this
you
far,
laughing?
for you to have come this far, if you've had the patience
No,
for 3 years,
King, if it's
you should
true.
have the patience for the next 3 or 4 years in terms of communication.
She's deeply rooted, but he like very good bad guy. Very good bad guy. He go follow very good. Now the very good bad guy has become an atheist.
To be honest,
No,
this
but
is
why-
workable.
no,
It's not something that should cause an uproar.
You
It is
see-
workable.
Okay, why did she not see a very full-baked Christian brother inside church? He not follow that one. Just turn speaking.
But you know, some all those very good, they are very boring to be with.
So
Some of
he
them.
now go for half baked
That
very
is
good bad
it.
guy, and
If
now
you
he have
can endure.
wahala now he have come.
If you
See,
can endure for 3 years and then he popped the question and
My
he said,
problem is-
have that patience again to endure for maybe the next 6 years without being married though. Have that patience.
Are you
Until
serious?
communicate, yes.
So
If
she
you have
went
that
for
patience
9
yes,
with ring, when you know the ring. That of the ring.
Yes, now, keep waiting.
I tell you, not suggest you become like you go. But
To be honest, it's
because I feel
workable.
she could not change him in three years while they were dating, as if she even not fully rooted, and you could not change him, bring him to your side, like encourage him to love the Lord, and he now popped the question, and now immediately became an atheist. Like,
See, such people like
there is-
respect.
there is
So
something fishy there from the guy's side, even from the lady's side, because I feel she knows this man. She knows him, that this man, to like God right from time, but she just if you say prayer go help her. I'm serious. She knows this guy, and immediately because he just switched back to his original self, because I feel that's his original self. Someone who was a half-baked Christian, like not fully rooted. You can't force this person to become who you want this person to become. That's just it. So she knows this, but as Nengi has rightly said, if you feel you can cope, me, I give you my blessing. You can go,
cope, yeah.
But you should
a
I want to hear the gist later, because me, I'm not wishing you bad though. I know you will pray. Like I've read of a book whereby, let me give you a very good example. I've read a lady, a spiritual lady, I've forgotten her name, and her husband was an atheist. He didn't like the Lord and everything, but while she gave her life to Christ while in the marriage, but her actions actually made this man become a Christian.
Oh,
and
what are we not saying?
Right now, this man is one of the most popular pastors, and nobody knows his wife.
What are we not saying, Ju baby, in this case?
Nobody knows his wife. So I'm trying to encourage you to, if you,
it is workable.
If you want to, but she said for years, she said like 15 years.
That's the truth.
15, 20 years.
I think it's not making sense. It's not making sense now.
Judith is saying right now is, if you're ready to put in the work,
yes, put in.
go ahead.
As Nengi said, God has put the man in your front.
If you're ready to put in the prayers, go for it.
That's where the assignment
If
comes
you're
in.
ready
It's
to
massive.
if you're ready to take, some, I don't want to use insults, because someone like this that does not, he no longer respects God.
Yes, the insult will come. But I think if you're the one that is really sound in God, I think you can go to God in prayer.
So what are we not saying once again?
And ask him if this is your assignment, like Nengi said. Because Nengi said his assignment. If this is your ministry, maybe your husband that is an atheist is his ministry. Me, I cannot have that kind of ministry.
My sister,
if this is your ministry, as Nengi said, make it your ministry.
Stay there.
Stay there.
You're not
but I feel if you're really sound in Christ and you know the Lord very well, you would get a nudge to go, because we can all talk here and give you advice, but it's you.
The decision solely lies with her.
So if you know you can really go to God in prayer and ask him, Lord, should I go with this man? Is this man in my path to help him? Because most men who run away from God are men who are angry at God for one particular thing that God did not do.
Yeah.
So you see why he cannot just wake up and say, I want to be an atheist.
So please, if you know it's something that you would want to go to God in prayer, he answers you. You're his child. After all, you're a full-baked Christian. So go to God in prayer. Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, I want you to just
go to God in prayer and ask him if this man is the one he has sent you to help to make him that full-baked Christian that he's supposed to be. And it's cool. If you hear clearly. Don't allow love blind you. Because love can actually make you not hear God very clearly. Hear clearly. Get
so will you actually,
but then love, God is love. Love is God.
Advise that she separates from the guy for like some time.
She has to separate
so that she can hear clearly.
Yes. If she doesn't separate, her emotions will be clouded. You will not be hearing God. You will just be hearing your emotions. I advise people most times in this case to actually separate from this person for a very short period of time, just to seek the counsel of God. And definitely, you're God's child. He listens to you.
Right. And then you think that you can just stand up and want to separate from him for some period of time, and he would now say, okay, my brother, he go date on that person, marry, sharp.
If he really loves this guy, he will wait now. Like, she'll do it in a subtle way.
The thing is,
she will not like go.
Here is it now. The thing is, I've said this before, communication. There is an assignment. There's a need for you to communicate to this person. And if at all you guys are very good in terms of communication, I believe it is workable. It is mendable. You can definitely get into that and succeed. Because we usually do. There's no handbook. There's no written handbook that says these are the criteria that you want for marriage, for this. There isn't any handbook. Everybody, you get the way where they say they go. You understand? There's a way. Everybody get their own. What's the word now? The word's skipping my head. Everyone has the way they go about things. What works for them actually. So communicate. You have to be patient. This is where we're going to see your deeply rooted Christian virtues and values.
It depends on what you can take anyways. But then I'll take that as your last takes. But what I really want to talk about is, the fact that, number one, If this guy is someone you've dated for 3 years, you know people around him, probably you would know his family members and all of that. Try to go and talk to them like, this is what this guy is saying now. Are you guys aware that he's now an atheist? And this is what I don't think I can see myself, in a home. So let's see if together you guys can help him out. Do you understand? And another thing is, number 2 thing that I think is very important for you, if you are really truly a Christian, the first person that you should talk to, please help me, is the Holy Spirit. Don't want to go spiritual right now, but then I feel God is the first person you should have gone to and said, please help me. What should I do? If God feels, this is something I want for you, this is somebody I want you to pull into my vineyard, He will say, go ahead. This is how you should do it. But if it's someone that God feels this person will harm you, this person, is a ticket to your destruction, He will tell you, just let go. I that made this one available, or I will make a better one available for you. So I think that is what you should actually, do. And that's like the size of the show this evening. It was
any battle she goes without God, and it is the other factor that is pushing it. If let's just be frank about it, it's the other factor. We have the godly factor and we have the Satan factor. So the Satan factor is pushing the. So if you go on that battle alone, you end up losing.
Pastor.
And then they now say, when the battle is over, you do what? Wear the what? Crown. So
you are. All right, that's the size of the show. It has been a very, very interesting conversation with the ladies in the house today. I mean, it's not funny. The situation is not funny, but we're just trying to make sure that we have fun with it. That's what we are doing. That's why you see us giggle, chuckle, laugh at one time or the other. If you are in that situation, maybe you are not the same said lady, and you are in that kind of situation, please just have some introspection. Try to look inward and see, can I go on this journey, on this battle? All right, that's the question that you should ask yourself. We end the show tonight, and we actually